Also virtually utilizing Zoom, which is a cloud-based platform for remote video and audio conferencing. The Zoom application is free to the public. The general public is therefore able to join the meeting by connection through the internet or by calling in by phone. The public is also able to observe the meeting on the township's YouTube channel. Please continue to check the township website calendar for any updates related to these public meetings. Agendas for these public meetings will also be available on the township's website. Please be reminded that this meeting is being video and audio recorded and posted to the township's YouTube channel for viewing. The meeting will now proceed with the chairman calling the meeting to order and identifying all other members present in the meeting room and those joining the meeting via Zoom. The chairman will then confirm those members joining by Zoom can be heard.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Call the meeting of the Planning Commission to order. I'm Randy Patterson. I'm the Vice Chair of the Planning Commission. Our chair, his term ended in November, and we don't reorganize until January. So I'm serving as Vice Chair of this meeting. Tonight we have with us John Thompson, who will introduce in a few minutes, Jansen Herr, Jason Dagan, Sarah Ryder is by Zoom. Those are the members of the Planning Commission this evening. We also have Ralph Hutchinson, who's the Township Manager, Tara Hitchens, who is the Assistant Township Manager, and Lee Ovitz, our Administrative Assistant, who will take care of our technical needs. With that, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under indivisible with liberty and justice for all. So our first item of business is to welcome Jonathan, but go by John. Yes, Thompson, as a new member of the Planning Commission to fill Daryl Seaton's seat. John, would you like to tell us just a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Yeah, I've lived in the township for a number of years. I'm a financial advisor at a firm just outside of the city. So I'm excited to serve.
Thank you. Next item of business is the approval of the minutes from the November 12th, 2024 meeting. You should have received a copy of those minutes by packet that you picked up. The office. There are some minor typographical issues that we'd like to correct, but we can still proceed tonight to approve the minutes. Since there is one that I wanted to point out in relationship to the review of 2008 Horseshoe Road, and that's at the very end of the minutes. It says that Patterson, myself, and Jansen thought we had enough answer to move forward, and it's actually we did not have enough answer to move forward with that project. So we'll correct that, and we'll make the other minor corrections. Are there any other comments from members of the commission? If not, I'll take a motion to approve the minutes as presented with some minor corrections.
I'll motion to approve the video.
As proposed. Yeah, motion.
I'll second that. Yeah.
Jason will second that. Any discussion related to the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Sarah raises her hand as aye. Opposed? Unanimously approved. Thank you. We have no old business this evening to address, so we will move to new business. The first item of business is number 2024-23, the first search of the Nazarene, 2150 Mullen Pike, development plan. We have representatives of that this evening. If you could introduce yourself and your relationship to the applicant.
Sure. My name is Ben Craddock. I'm with the Lancaster Civil Engineering Company. Kelly Adams is here. He's on the building committee of the church.
Okay.
And
if you could, since John, this is his first meeting, if you could give a brief overview of the land development plan and the project itself, then we could address the David Miller Associates letter and your request for waiver of modification.
absolutely. First Church of the Nazarene is on Route 23, just outside of Leola. It's about a 7-acre property that the church is on. I mean, it really is, the church building is the main improvement. It was about an 8-acre property until a couple of years ago. I was in here to subdivide off the old parsonage. So that was done a couple of years ago. I don't remember. I think at least Randy was here. I'm not sure who else was here. Were they?
How do you remember that? Yeah, I was really.
Okay.
Rim said it.
So right now it's a 7-acre property, and you can see it up there on the screen. It really is a parking lot, the church. But behind the church, there is a trailer, and that trailer has been there for a number of years. It was supposed to be a temporary trailer. It turned, I believe, into a little more permanent than it was supposed to be. And as part of that, the church needed to remove that trailer. So what's proposed is basically a multi-purpose open space. There is a small kitchen area, but it's basically a big open space for the church to use as a flex space. So there's no additional seats being proposed in the auditorium. So we don't anticipate additional traffic or additional parking needs. It really is for the use of the folks that are attending the church right now.
This was just needed, not a growth thing.
Correct. No, there's no, yeah. I mean, of course, it's always, more people could attend because of that. So yeah, I mean, it really is it's a rectangular building. We're putting a patio between the building and the church, just for use of the church members, and then a sidewalk out alongside the church. We are proposing a stormwater facility that's down in the bottom left-hand corner, and really everything slopes kind of down to that corner. And all we've done really primarily is just build a berm along the bottom there to catch what drains toward it and control the stormwater that way. Let me see what else I have written here. No, I mean, that's really it. There's not a whole lot to it. We do have 4 waivers. 3 of the waivers are the same waivers that were approved with the subdivision plan. We're asking for a waiver of the preliminary plan to go straight to a final plan. And then we're also asking for, I guess you would say, like a confirmation of the roadway improvements. Back when we did the subdivision plan, it's almost like a flag lot. There's a little strip that goes out to 23. So the ordinance would require the church to improve that little section by putting in a sidewalk and curbing. And back when the subdivision was done, the board approved a deferral of that. It wasn't waived, it was just deferred. There's an agreement that says if the township ever wants the church to build those in the future, do that at their cost. So since this is a new plan, those items are on the table again. If you're willing to defer those again, we already have agreement. Nothing really has to change as far as the 4th waiver that wasn't before is a stormwater waiver. And that is for something called loading ratio. We have, like I said, we have the stormwater facility in the bottom left-hand corner. And what that does is, that means we have a decent amount of lawn area that's really not part of this project, but drains to the stormwater facility. And the loading ratio is the ratio of the overall area that goes to that facility compared to the area of the facility itself. And we're exceeding the guidelines that are in the ordinance. And I can't remember how the ordinance says it, but DEP, most engineers consider those guidelines not necessarily strict, hard and fast rules. What that loading ratio does for us is it prevents a ton of water being shoved into the ground in a very small footprint. And what we've done to, I guess, mitigate that is our berm is very shallow. It's only about 9 inches tall, right? So it really doesn't impound a significant amount of water. And so we're kind of meeting the intent of that without meeting the letter. That's really the overview. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Just a question, you talk about the easement a little bit for that drainage.
There's a very large drainage easement that encompasses the stormwater facility. And then it provides access all the way out to 23. That easement is to prevent the church from building something in that area, or somehow doing something in there that would interfere with the function. It also allows the township to come in and inspect it. And if something happened that the township wasn't doing, or the church wasn't doing what they're supposed to, the township could come in and do whatever maintenance is necessary and charge the church for that. So that's what that easement is for.
And could you just go through quickly the subdivision land development comments? David Miller, particularly the first one, just for everyone's information that you've taken care of that one.
Evidence of design and capacity approval, is that the one
Yes.
from the water provider? So I have submitted an application to Lancaster City. I haven't heard back yet. We are proposing to connect to the existing line that's on the church side of the water meter. So usually the city doesn't get too involved with that other than saying that they have capacity. With the SEO, I have talked to Dale High a number of times. He has agreed that the size of the existing drain field is adequate for what the church is doing. He said that the tank that they're currently using would need an upgrade. It needs another baffle. So when we apply for the septic permit to do that, that'll be part of that process. So we have initiated those, but I don't have anything in writing from either Dale or the city at this time. So I'd ask that that would be a conditional approval.
Stormwater is not really our responsibility, so really won't ask you to address that, although it does appear that you've done so. Any questions from members of the commission?
Just one, under that same subdivision and building, it does say revised plan has been provided to EMS providers. Have you heard anything back?
I have not.
That's what I assumed, but just.
No other questions from the commission members? Sarah? You're good?
I'm good.
Thank you. Any questions from the public?
Ben, I'm sorry, Ben, number 13 under general comments addresses the deferral agreement that's previously been recorded.
One on the plan?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was the one that was reported with the subdivision.
Right, that instrument number there is the actual agreement that was reported saying that the church is responsible for those improvements.
Yeah. Bruce? No other questions? I'll be willing to entertain a motion for action on the land development plan presented.
I'll make a motion for approval to the Board of Supervisors for final land development plan for the First Church of Nazarene. Let's see here, 2050 New Holland Pike. As long as it's in accordance with the David Miller letter dated November 21st, 2024. And then when I say, let's see here, conditional approval on this one then, and then a conditional approval on the evidence of design and capacity approval from the water provider and the SEO.
That letter basically states first granted and continued in the existing waiver for the sidewalk. And a second to that motion? Second from Jansen. Any further conversation, discussion? Sarah, good? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion as presented, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Second item of new business is plan number 2024-31. Of ZKD Property Management, the 2007 Lincoln Highway East, requesting a waiver of land development plan. You introduce yourself and do your representatives.
Glenn Peter Works with East Wallace and Eric. With me this evening is Zach Guy, who is the applicant here on behalf of ZKG Property Management LLC. The proposal of this property, which is the location of Just Press Play, is to construct approximately 185 additional square feet of mezzanine space within the existing building. All improvements interior to the building, there's no interior alterations, changes in parking or anything like that. It's just additional space on the mezzanine level as shown to the attachment to the letter that my colleague Claudia Schenk had submitted. Our request this evening is for respectfully request planning commission to defer or to grant a recommendation of waiver of land development to the Board of Supervisors. We were advised by township staff that in similar projects, they required land development or for applicants to seek a waiver of land development. And again, given the minor nature of these projects, the lack of exterior improvements and the fact that it's all located within this existing building, that's our justifications that we're offering for support of our waiver request.
Increase in employment as a result of the additional square footage or?
No. Additional square footage for retail display purposes. It would be used.
And the township staff typically does a write-up for this was so minor in nature that I verbally am going to tell you, we have no issue with this increase in square footage within the building.
Yes. Any questions from members of the commission? Sarah? No questions? You're good?
No questions here. Nope.
If not, any questions from the public? Again, fairly straightforward request. I will accept the motion related to the request for a waiver of land development.
I'll make a motion that we approve the waiver of land development number 24-31 as outlined by the letter from McNeese, Wallace and Nurek, August 14th, 2024.
From Johnson, is there a second? Second one. Second from Gracie. Any further commentary and discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Sarah. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
This item of business are briefing items. 2024-30, the student.
You can see it on the screen. This is 2 farm properties that will be subdivided into 3 farm properties. The first will start on the right of the screen, which is lot 3, and that's approximately 20 acres. And then in the middle is lot 2, which is approximately 24 acres. And then on the left is lot 1, which is approximately 56 acres, currently 54 acres. This is along Hobson Road, and it's bounded on the south by the creek, Mill Creek. So this is all Smucker properties, held currently in 2 different names, if I remember correctly, a father and a son, and subdividing another piece so that there's a future child that can have a farm plot as well. It's Stoltzfus. I'm sorry, it's Stoltzfus.
You could use one of the other one too. I would have totally went with that.
No, it's a Stoltzfus farm. I apologize. And there are a few comments that we'll bring out. There's a floodplain in this area. There's a sewer line along the creek here. This is also an area that we've looked at for an MS4 project. So we'll have further discussions with the Stoltzfuses about that as well. And you'll see this at your January meeting.
This is a deferral to the township because such a small portion is in East Lampeter.
That is incorrect.
Okay.
That's probably why I said Smucker. This is Stoltzfus.
In this decision, just to clarify, the Smucker properties isn't a representation of the corporation, it should be Stoltzfus properties.
That's correct.
And I'm sorry, just to clarify one thing. So this is, what's in question here is not a deferral to Laycock.
This is not within East Peter Township.
Okay, okay, so the question of mine is this subdivision. It's okay. Thanks, sorry, just one.
Certain subdivision rights for farm properties under the zoning ordinance. So we have not checked that yet. We need to go through that process and check that.
So we will see that at a future planning commission meeting.
You will.
Any other briefing items not listed?
No.
Other business, reminder that our January meeting, as I mentioned earlier, will include the reorganization of the planning commission and the election of officers. So all of you can consider that. We at least need a chair and a vice chair. And do we have a secretary?
No.
No. So at least a chair and a vice chair. So we'll do that at our planning commission meeting on January, whether we have other business at that point in time or not. Any other comments, questions from staff?
I have nothing.
Any others from the commission members? Then I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Ansel moves, second.
You want to second that?
Sure. Motion to adjourn. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is moved unanimously. Thank you, John.